we've got this new facility here, and so I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about this, and I'm going to need you to get ready to type into the chat because, again, I'm going to need your feedback on this. But here we are in what is called the Conservation Laboratory. The goal of this work is to help reduce reliance on wild collection while supporting the needs of aquariums and also this AZA-accredited institution, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, around the world. Go ahead and type into the chat, what do you think is the best answer to this question here? And here you can see Rebecca and Amanda working in the space. We're going to pretend that we are on the exhibit committee for Mote Aquarium. We've got lionfish, blobfish, axolotl, electric ray, blue-ringed octopus, reef fish, giant clam, hagfish, penguins, cuttlefish, moon jellies, or giant octopus. You can either type in the chat, or you're feeling especially adventurous and can unmute your microphone. You can let me know which animal would you like for us to feature next. I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curve now, so let's go ahead and take another look at these organisms and look at it through the lens of how much it might cost us to acquire some of these critters. But if you were actually looking at this and as a committee member, you would probably want to organize your data, right? So let's go ahead and simplify things for you and turn this into a table. So I'm going to throw you a few other conditions to think about too. Let's also look at the lifespan, and then also we're going to look at the IUCN status. Here's another way of looking at it, that lifespan. Let's take a look at that. Which animal on this chart lives the longest? And then you can see how it breaks down for the other critters. And then also, we want to consider how threatened these species are. Now, zoos and aquariums do a great job of protecting species, usually as part of what's called a species survival program, but especially places that are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums have a long list of concerns, protocols, and information sharing that they're doing in order to keep these animals alive, not only in human care, but also out in nature. So what are our scientists doing exactly in this space? Well, as I showed you, they are pioneering alternatives. This lab showcases live culture systems that grow these jellyfish and brine shrimp at different stages. These are some of the creatures that we grow here. Now, speaking of these, has anyone ever touched a jellyfish before? What about stung? Anyone had an encounter with a jellyfish that did not go well? Anyone's tasted jellyfish before? You can eat them, but how do the jellies breathe? Do they have gills? And that are these moon jellies that I've been talking about. So let's take a little closer look at them. And then over there within their gastric filaments, they have their gonads, or reproductive organs, because believe it or not, even though these are relatively simple creatures in appearance, they actually have quite complex life cycles. They reproduce through spawning, the first phase of a jelly's life cycle, which looks very different from the adults. And then top one will start to wiggle off and pop off and form what's called a nephyra. Here you can see a close-up view of what it looks like. Little tiny cute stage, itty bitty aphyra, which I think are absolutely adorable. And of course we've got to feed them rotifers, which are even smaller than the brine shrimp, live food for animals that need it, like these seahorses here. Type in the chat if you know what I'm looking at here. Mermaid's purses, yes, exactly, which are the egg cases for sharks. Some of them, like the epaulets here, as well as the coral cat sharks and the bamboo sharks, will lay eggs. And then the other purpose of this space is training for the future. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Doing an aquarium internship is also a great job. And let's go ahead and see if we can tour the lab.
Are there any other questions?